what I want to talk about is how TikTok is changing the world and redefining culture, as Ben pointed out in his use of TikTok and ballet there. It was very interesting to hear him say that we want to find people where people are, and increasingly, TikTok is the place that is our new public forum. We are in an era where Facebook has dominated a lot of our last 15, 20 years of tech existence. And I think we're at a really interesting point where we're starting to see a new platform appearing that may be becoming the new public forum where we do all of our work and we enjoy all of our culture and we engage with each other. And we see that through the rise of TikTok. So recently it announced that it has 1 billion users worldwide, and that is a huge number. Bear in mind, YouTube has 2 billion users. That's been around since 2005-ish. And Facebook has 3 billion users across all of its apps, including Instagram and WhatsApp. And TikTok hasn't been around all that long. Monica mentioned Douyin, the Chinese version of the app, which has been around a little bit longer, but TikTok itself has only been around 3 or 4 years. So the story of TikTok is one of accelerating technology, something that we focused on quite a lot this morning in this session. But it is also fascinating because it's not just the increasing speed of technology, but I think it is being accelerated through TikTok's own work. TikTok overtook YouTube for the amount of time spent on the app for Android users in the UK very recently, and it was the very first non-Facebook app to be downloaded more than 3 billion times worldwide. So my theory, and it's one that people may agree with or may disagree with, is that TikTok is really the new Facebook, or probably I should say Meta now. It's that overarching business that I think could very well shape the next generation of technology. And it's not just TikTok. We have to bear in mind that there is a parent company behind TikTok. So just in the same way that Facebook rebranded to Meta because it decided that we're all going to live in the metaverse, and it has Instagram and WhatsApp as well as its key product of Facebook, TikTok is owned by parent company ByteDance. And ByteDance has an awful lot of different products that want to engage in your life in very different ways. So they have TikTok, the video app that we all know and love and are addicted to, but then they also have other apps, including Felio, which is going to be a music streaming service being launched later this year. It has a workplace collaboration tool called Slack-like tool, which is used by a lot of different businesses. And its attempts really are to try and get into every aspect of your life. And that is important, I feel, because it really shows the power of this new company. And it signifies a shift away from the Silicon Valley ideals of the last 15 or 20 years towards a more global enterprise in technology. And I know I don't have to speak to a lot of the people that are sitting there in Portugal, nor to me here in the UK, about how important it is that we are rule makers as well as rule takers. We had a lot of conversation earlier in this session about the rules around AI and the importance of that. And I think that we're starting to see a real change away from US tech-led idealism towards a more pragmatic, perhaps more globalized view, which is good for all of us. So there are 100 million users in Europe of TikTok and another 100 million in the United States. In the UK, where I'm based, 1 in every 4 people in the UK log on to TikTok every single month. That's not adults, not just children, that is people. 1 in 4 of the population, a huge internet penetration. And to try and give you a sense of the scale of TikTok, I think it's useful to give you one key stat, because of course, this app has benefited not only from the increasing pace of technology and not only from the innovation that its parent company ByteDance has had over the last several years in pushing forward new technology, but it's also benefited from the circumstances. And it's part of the reason why I'm talking to you through Zoom rather than being there in person in Portugal. It is because of the pandemic, of course. TikTok came around at exactly the right time. It really captured the zeitgeist. And the way that I can show you that is through one key stat alone. In March 2020, as the world began to lock down, users of TikTok outside of China spent 320,000 years on the app in 1 month alone. Now, 320,000 years is a very big number, and it's a very complicated one to understand. So let me try and contextualize it in this way. 320,000 years ago, man was crafting tools out of stone. And now we're being served videos like Banks and all of the other ones that we consume through very, very carefully crafted, very intelligent algorithms that know us better than anybody else. And TikTok is replacing the old world of entertainment. It's fascinating to see the way in which we're moving away from television and more towards social media and videos on the internet. So 3 in 10 of US TikTok users said that they watch less TV, less streaming services, and other video content since they joined the app. This is replacing as well as adding to our entertainment digest. And it's because it's so huge and it's so varied and it's so interesting. 5 million videos are posted worldwide every hour, according to data from within TikTok that I managed to obtain through my journalism. And it's all delivered by the app's highly powered algorithm. And Jess spoke earlier about the importance of AI and regulating that, and was asked about TikTok's algorithm. TikTok's AI is one of the most powerful in tech. It's been developed and honed over years through many different apps, including Douyin, the Chinese version. It's a new type of algorithm. It's based on what's called the content graph, what you consume, rather than the social graph, which is what your friends like. And that means that it's much more in tune with what we like. And with that come all of the concerns potentially about radicalization and getting you into filter bubbles and all of those sorts of things. But I think what TikTok really does through the algorithm, through its rise, and through all of its impact on culture and society, is it kind of shows us a new route for the future of tech. TikTok's rise isn't just about the rise of a single app alone. I think it's more about the future of technology generally and who holds the crucible of power. You can almost consider TikTok as a Trojan horse for a shift away from Silicon Valley, not just in terms of the type of content that it gives us, but also the way we interact with that content and maybe the social norms that come with it too. So we have to ask, what does that mean for the future of tech? It's a question that I'm intrigued by, because the future of tech is also the future of our society, because we live so much of our lives online. And it's a question that I'm really keen to grapple with and try and explore a little bit in my book. It's one that I really think we all need to think about, because tech is so pervasive. It is now the way in which we live our lives. We bank, we buy, we sell, we interact, we talk through all of these different media. And so we need to be conscious of the power that it has, and also the direction of travel in where we're going. So I'll leave you with this one brief thought. Banks managed to harness the power of TikTok to reinvent and redefine an age-old culture. What do you think that could do for your business? What do you think that could do for your area of life or your interests? What do you think that could do for other areas of culture? And more importantly, is this the direction of travel in which you want to go? Do you see a world where TikTok is the new Facebook? And are you happy with that world? I'm not sure whether I am or not. It's a question that I keep grappling with. I'm a tech skeptic tech reporter. But all I know is that it's happening, and it's happening very fast. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope that was interesting and thought-provoking, and asked some questions of you, and very, very keen to learn more about what's happening for the rest of the session.